So friends, the next question, what other techniques we can apply? We can apply discounted cash flow. I want you to read this and then I don't want to talk because this is a little deeper. So DCF is a very popular technique, discounted cash flow, because what will happen is that in any project, you will keep on spending the money, right? Likewise, you will keep generating the revenue over a period of 5-10 years. But you have to make a decision today, right? So you're discounting the cash flows of the future in today's terms, right? When you look from today to the future, you look at interest rate, right? Because you want, hey, I'm investing $100,000. What is my interest in this? What will I get? Which is called the interest rate. My interest is directly proportional to the amount of interest I get, 5% versus 10%. If you have 10%, you're happy. Fixed deposit, FD in India, right? I still love it because some money I keep there because 8% nobody will give me in America. In America, CD gives 1%. But in India, it gives 8%. But if I count it back today, what is the value? That is called discounted cash flow. In today's terms. In the future terms, it is interest rate. Likewise, net present value. A lot of money is coming in, a lot of money is going out. What is the net? And all that calculated in today's term. What is the present value today? Because I'm making investment today. I want to know, should I invest or not? Right? For example, you will get money. You have you have $1,000, and in next 3 years, you will get 1157. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Should you do the project or not? That's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The answer is, this formula is very similar to your compound interest, principal interest, which we used to do in school, right? Present value is equal to future value, 1 plus I interest rate and number of years. So interest rate is 5% a year, 3 years. And this is the future value. When you do all the math, you get present value. So something which will be in 3 years from now at 5% at 1157, today is 1,000. Right? So if you're comparing two projects, the one which has a bigger number, higher present value, select that. When you're doing a project, if the negative number comes, it means it is not going to give you any value. Even though the numbers look big, but negative. And then internal rate of return is when you get the highest rate of return internally in a project. Usually it is when your net present value is 0. What is the discount rate at this? And I have an example for all three of them here. So you read this and then tell me, should you do this project, yes or no, and we'll discuss.
As per me, should I say?
Yeah.
We should not.
Yeah. How about Monica and Karun?
I am still trying to understand the concept of net present value and the IRR. And then In layman's language, still trying to make sense.
Sure, sure. Try, then I will help you. See, benefit cost is simple, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you have 5 years. Each year you're getting 2,500. That is 12,500. You invested 10,000, 1.25. There is some benefit, 25%.
Correct.
Payback, I invested 10,000. Each year I get 25. I get back 4 years. Looks good. 4 year looks good. Benefit 1.25, 25% looks good. But the problem is that net
8% back.
present value is negative.
Yeah.
Why is it negative? Because I've invested $10,000 and all the money which you're getting in first, second, third, fourth, in the payback, you're not looking at the time value of money. You're just saying 2,500.
Mhm.
But 2,500 3 years from now is not 2,500 today,
Yeah.
right? Money has a time value, right?
Hmm.
Money didn't have a time value, I would be a poorest guy on earth, right? So the time value is of money is the most important factor, right? If you bought a property 20 years ago, sorry, and today it is 5 times. In the time, as we go forward, it has increased. So time value of money is a very important piece. So 2,500 1 year from now is more, 2 years from now more, 3 years from now. When you do all that, you will see that actually you're losing money because your cost is 10,000, but you're only getting 9,500 roughly. You see that?
That's true.
So you're actually losing money. And your IRR, internal rate of return, is only 7.93. Your required investment is 10%, which is less than 10%. So your IRR is less than 10%. Your NPV is a negative number. So even though your BCR and payback looks good, this project is not worth doing.
So you have to consider all 4 of them when you're investing, is what.
Yeah. I mean, in this question, we wanted to give you a sense of the 4 terms. In the financial world, in the software industry, right, when they are evaluating projects, the most popular is net present value. BC funding, net present value. Merger and acquisition, net present value. Right? Google just bought a company to compete with Chat GPT. Ancron, what is the name of the company? They just bought it like last week. So how will they evaluate what is the worth of the company?
Mhm.
Net present value. If we're expecting, because Google is going to pay, Google will say, let's say, pay half $500 million and pick 10% of the equity, which means the value of the company is 5 billion. But that $500 million that Google is putting, if they don't expect to get more than $500 million, will they do it? That's a very simple question, right?
Yeah.
But when you apply the net present value, they expect future cash flow,
Mhm.
revenue, and cost each year. All that, how does it translate in today's terms? That is net present value. So, and you're right that if you look at all 4, the first 2 do not give a very clear picture. Although they look good in the number, but they do not really consider the time value of the money. And net present value is the value of a project in today's term.